everyone. Welcome to our video update for our community of practice that we're running in the Bay Area. My name is Xavier Nazario, and I'm one of the regional directors for employer engagement for business and entrepreneurship for the North and East Bay. We are working with faculty in the region to meet their needs and to help share resources across the region. I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Micah, to introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Micah Merrick. I'm also the RD for Business and Entrepreneurship, along with Xavier, serving primarily the Peninsula and South Bay areas. I'm really happy to join you here, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how the community of practice for business and entrepreneurship has evolved over the last month and what we've got coming up here in the future. So the first thing we wanted to share with you was the progress that we've made over the last month or so in terms of the community of practice. So we're thrilled to report that we have participation from faculty at 14 different colleges around the area, and we're working hard to educate and build awareness for the community of practice at the remaining colleges in the region.
When it comes to our first phase in our community of practice initiative, we're really looking to build relationships and do a needs assessment to identify what the faculty need in our region. We started this all off, as Micah mentioned, on May 1st with a kickoff meeting to just get everyone to meet each other and introduce themselves. And then we quickly moved into sub-disciplines or subgroups, starting on May 15th with the business law community of practice. And the reason why we chose that first was because the majority of the faculty members that participated in the kickoff meeting taught business law. The next area was business administration or business general. Coming up in the near future on May 29th, we have the accounting community of practice, and then we'll have the entrepreneurship community of practice before we take a little break going into the summer.
So the three takeaways we've had over the meetings from the past month is that the community of practice is growing steadily. We started out with maybe 10 or so faculty participating in the first meeting, and we've steadily grown up to about 30 people participating in the community of practice with attendance averaging around 10 to 12 faculty members per meeting. We're also starting to identify some of the common needs and opportunities that are specific to those different groups that Xavier mentioned. Big purpose here is to identify shared resources that could be valuable across the region, and then for Xavier and I to support those initiatives. When we had our community of practice call for the business law, one of the faculty members identified a great resource called Cali Law. And we did some digging into that and found out that the license to access some of the learning modules that were from that nonprofit were quite reasonably priced, and that we're actively working now to see if we can get a license for the faculty members across the Bay region to use that system.
I wanted to take a minute to just explain why we chose to use Canvas as our medium to share information. It began with a conversation between our regional consortia, BACCC, and we were able to come to an agreement with CVC OEI, which is an organization within the Chancellor's office that allows us to leverage trust relationships that exist between all of the community colleges in California and this organization, CVC OEI. This allows us to be able to provide closed but easy access to all faculty who teach at a community college. So when they log into Canvas in their home institution or their community college, they're able to see our community of practice listed right there along with their courses. It is also a great communication and collaboration tool, which allows us to keep all of the data, content, and curriculum in one central location. And we're working hard to organize it in a way that makes the most sense. So when a faculty member goes into it, they can share information, but also be able to retrieve information in a quick amount of time. The last benefit that we've seen when it comes to using Canvas is it's a common platform that's used across most of the community colleges in California. So we hope to model best practices, but we also hope to familiarize faculty who have never used Canvas into some of the top ways to use it.
So we've explained a little bit about the community of practice as it's evolved so far. We've also talked a little bit about the Canvas shell that we've created to create a community that we're trying to build over time. And now we want to talk about the next steps. So coming up after the next two dedicated community of practice calls for accounting and entrepreneurship, we're going to take a short break at the end of June to do deep dive calls with faculty members to get their feedback on what's worked and what hasn't worked, and in order for us to assess what might be most beneficial for the community moving forward. We're going to work to synthesize some of the common trends and common needs that are arising from the faculty that we speak with. And then we're going to resume the community of practice calls and resource sharing in July after we've identified those resources and synthesized those amongst ourselves.
We want to see our communities of practice continue to grow. And if you have any questions or if you're interested in participating in our communities of practice, please feel free to contact either myself or Micah, and we'll be happy to send you an invitation to our course.